We race. Maximilian Schleimer from the inside of the second row of the grid pushes Danny Catanini down into turn one. Catanini was in fact slow. Schleimer slams it down the inside of turn three, and the German goes through to lead. What a start by Maximilian, but Danny gets him back on the entry onto the pit hairpin. Catanini goes position one. Getting by the brief race leader, Maximilian Schleimer, the German, as they race down the hill for the first time. Mathis Barbe, the Frenchman, in the Lando Norris car, position three. Watch out for him. As we settle into a rhythm, he dives down the inside. There he goes, Mathis Barbe into second place. Took a stunning victory in the pre-final this morning, and now he sets off after the race leader, the driver to beat this weekend. Danny Catanini slides a little bit wide. Does Mathis Barbe, and Schleimer for the CV Performance Group pushes the Frenchman down into turn one. Catanini with a 0.4 of a second lead at the end of the first lap. Super start from Andrea Giudice. He's up into position 4 ahead of Christian Comanducci. Locatelli, Giacomo Mamana, Mark Granata, Lorenzo Bedetti, and Martucci rounds out the 10. From the start, watch the right of your screen. Schleimer push the pole sitter. Denny looks over his right shoulder to the Frenchman. Schleimer around the outside. And then he tucked back in to take the lead away. But Denny took him into the hairpin, and he's regained the lead. Schleimer, the German, a forgettable pre-final this morning when he came together with Erika Lavazza. Erika herself, she's down in position 17. So it is Catanini from Mathis Barbe and Maximilian Schleimer. However, I've got news for our French fans, and it's not good. Mathis Barbe in second position. He's under investigation. Scrap that. He's got a 5-second penalty. Mathis Barbe penalised 5 seconds. Oh, wow. A sensation here this afternoon. He will have to put in the drive of his life to win here, even make it up on the podium. He's about to fall off it on the road, let alone with the 5-second penalty applied. That elevates Giudice up into third place. Mathis Barbe across the line in P3, but a 5-second penalty puts the Frenchman in position 14. There's the order to the left of your screen. Danny Catanini now leading from the German, Maximilian Schleimer. Andrea Giudice for Mara 61. Fourth on the road is Andrea, but he's third in the race. Behind him, Locatelli, Christian Comanducci. Great start by Giacomo Mamana. The 814 Timmy Cards into 7th place as Mathis Barbe into second on the road, but with that penalty applied, he's still a mile off the podium. There's the rest of the field going through. Mark Granata, Giacomo Maman, Comanducci, Martucci, Christian Canonica for the KGT Motorsport team, and Barbe, 12th position. He's in P2 on the road, and what that does is gives Danny Catanini breathing space. The Italian who won the WSK Champions Cup at the start of 2022. That was in OK. Also finished P2 in the Andrea Margutti Trophy in X30 at this very circuit last season. And he leads in position 1 here today. The gap, we'll check it as they complete lap 5 in just a moment. I'll tell you, not back to Mathis Barbe, the driver from the Castellet Paul Ricard in the south of France, but more critically, to the German in second place. It's 1 second exactly. Danny Catanini with a second and a cut, which is penalised between himself and second place, Maximilian Schleimer. Here's Andrea Giudice, good drive from him ahead of Locatelli, who won the Rock Cup World Final at this very circuit at the end of 2022. Behind is Christian Comanducci for the Pachito Racing Car team. There is Christian down the hill just ahead of the Spaniard Mark Granata. For more racing, that was Giacomo Mamana. Third in the Italian Championship last year. 7th in the race today. Here's Giacomo in the TV cards. Giudice up the inside, and he goes through to position 2 in the race. 3rd on the road We'll check the gap from Cardinini to Giudice. It's 1.3 seconds. Nicely done into the final corner at the end of lap 6. Andrea Giudice. Famara Sisantuno up into second place. Martis Barb with the 5-second penalty. Still in position 12 overall. That is the race leader on your screen. Driving the Energy Kinetic chassis, the same chassis. Not the actual same car, but the same chassis which took victory with Thomas Dolcemanis in the WSK Open Cup in October in 2022 in OK. Team manager Simone Sorio watching on from pit lane as Denny continues to lead. Martis Barb with a 5-second penalty will come across the line in position 3. Andrea Giudice signals, let's catch the race leader if we can. He may not in fact know that the Frenchman has been penalised. He's down to position 13 overall. So the order is Cardinini, Giudice down the inside, Maximilian up into P3, the German back on the podium for the CV Performance Group. Textbook move from the German, dives down the inside of the penalised Frenchman, Martis Barb, who took a stunning victory in the pre-final this morning in the Lando Norris Cup. But a 5-second penalty, and he's been passed again. Locatelli drives down the inside and takes him. That's the Spaniard Marc Renard for Mole Racing. The team also assisted by the 2016 World Champion Pedro Hilbrand. Marc Renard up into P5, Maman Comanducci. Remember, he finished P3 in the WSK Champions Cup in 2018 behind 2 current Formula 3 drivers, Taylor Barnard, who took the victory, and Gabriele Mini, who took pole position for the first round of the FIA Formula 3 World Championship at Bahrain just a week ago. Comanducci P3 on that day, 4 years ago now in Adria. Actually, it was 5 years ago, wasn't it? Time flies. Comanducci in position 7 ahead of Martucci, Christian Canonica, KGT Motorsport, and Lorenzo Bedetti. Here's Marc Renard, the Spaniard may be a threat here. The Mole Racing team driver finished P3 in the LeConte Trophy at Valencia in the end of 2022. Marc in position 5, disregard the Frenchman. Martis Barb, he's fallen down to 15th. He won't make the podium, and he's actually losing pace with the leaders. Denny Cardinini, 9/10 of a second over Andrea Giudice. The team run by Sandro Mara, ex-international 100cc driver himself. The team formerly based at the Big Kart circuit at Rozzano, the south of Milan. No longer, they've got their own purpose-built facility. And their driver in position 2, Andrea Giudice. Super drive from him in the Tony Kart 804, just ahead of Maximilian Schleimer for the Christian Voss Performance Group. Maximilian from the German series, he's in position 3. Locatelli, P4. Granada, the Spaniard, 5. Natalia for the Iron Dames team. That's Natalia Granada, she's in position 15. Ahead of Arno Malizia, Philip Svensson, Federico Rossi, and Lin Jingwan. Cardinini has got this under control as we go into the second half of the final for X30, round 1 of the WSK Open Series. The Kart Republic behind the Tony Kart, but it's the Energy Kinetic which leads nicely here on a beautiful winter's day. It feels like summer with the sun shining. 9 days out from the start of springtime in the Northern Hemisphere. Locatelli, Granada, Comanducci, Giacomo Maman, and Martis Barb in that battle, though. Disregard him. We'll see him back for round 2 of the championship at Cremona on the 2nd of April. There's Comanducci in the background for the Pachito Racing Car team. As we look at our race leader, Denny Cardinini, 1 second ahead of the fastest driver on the circuit in second place, a 48.200. Giudice, quicker even than the race leader, Denny Cardinini. Schleiner too far back to make a move this time. The gap 1.05, now it's 1.1. Denny Cardinini, as the shadows get longer here over the massive 2,000 seat grandstand here at South Garda Karting the most famous kart circuit in the world, built by the Corberry family back in 1988. The sun will soon set, and it may well be on an energy course victory here today. Judice, the fastest driver on the circuit, but he's been caught by Maximilian Schleimer. And the attack on the race leader, Denny Catanini, it is disintegrating. Here's an opportunity. Maximilian just too far back as we complete lap 13 of the X30 senior final here at Lonato. There is Locatelli, Mark Granada, Christian Comanducci. The gap out to 1.2 seconds. Catanini is walking away with this. Denny Catanini took pole position on Friday with a time of 48.151. Andrea Giudice with a 48.200. The change for second place. Maximilian down the inside of Andrea, and the Marta Sessantuno driver back into P3, despite the fact that he's the fastest driver, or he was, on the circuit in the early part of the race. Not any longer though. Maximilian, the German P2, Denny, the Italian P1, Locatelli, Mark Granada in P5 from All Racing, catching up to the back of Locatelli. That was Matis Barb in P6 with that penalty. Comes across the line in 6th place with the penalty applied. It's position 11. Comanducci now back in 7. He's been passed by Giacomo Maman in the TV car, the first of the fluorescent green machines. There is Giacomo down the hill now, third in the Italian Championships in 2022, just ahead of Christian Comanducci, who, as we said, was on the podium in the Champions Cup. He actually won the Margutti Trophy at this circuit in 2021 as Andrea Giudice slips back on the inside, and the fight is still on for second place. Nicely done, nice response from Andrea Giudice. They both need to watch out for Davide Locatelli in P4. Too far back that time to capitalise. The fight between 5. Disregarding Matis Barb, who with the penalty is now in 11th place. The gap is 1.9 seconds. They are fighting for second place. Maximilian, that is Locatelli breathing down the German's neck. Catanini disappears down through the chicane. Giudice defends for his life from Maximilian. Locatelli and the Spaniard Mark Granada down the inside, up onto 2 wheels. Oh boy, Granada tries to take him as well. Locatelli, how did he keep that on the deck? Locatelli goes through, he's on the podium. Watch this. Off onto the marbles. Schleimer, Max, back into P5. And now Mark Granado, as step off the podium, has to defend, disregard Matis Barb. The 8-2-1 Lando Norris cut. There is the race leader ultimately, or should I say inevitably. He'll be the race winner. The gap is now 2.2 seconds to Giudice and Locatelli. Granada's had a moment. The Spaniard's off as Giudice does superbly well to keep it on the circuit. Granada, the dust flying, and the Spaniard has fallen off the circuit. Heartbreak for the Mole Racing team driver. Giudice in second place, Locatelli. Schleimer now in P4. Mark Granada, P3 at Valencia, as we said, to finish 2022 in the LeConte Trophy. In the first weekend of December, he was looking at P3 here this afternoon, but he's now out. His sister, Natalia Granada. There is the Iron Dames driver, just ahead of Emanuel Ledalkas, the Greek driver, with the TB car, Bedetti, Rossi, Arnaud Malizia, Svensson, and Ling Jingwan. 2.4 seconds from Catanini to Andrea Giudice. Granada in the Iron Dames machine, head of Ledalkas, Bedetti, Rossi, and Erika Lavazza has also retired. Erika is out. That's bad luck for Lavazza. Racing with us in 60 Mini, formerly with the Energy Course team back in 2017, 2018. The last couple of seasons, racing in the Mini Challenge in the Acci Sport, the Automobile Club of Italy Italian Championships, in a Mini Cooper. She was so competitive. She was taken out in an incident in her first heat. Had to fight back. She was quick. But Erika Lavazza, her weekend has now come to an end. The dying stages of the X30 final. Denny Karanini in the Energy Kinetic Karts. They've won here in OK with Thomas Stolchamanis. And surely they're about to take victory as well in X30. The team from Bergamo on the outskirts of Milan, where half of the field will be flying out of. Orio Sergio Bergamo Airport, just a few kilometres from the home base of Energy Course. There's their driver, richens up the mixture down into the pit hairpin. Great performance from Andrea Giudice and Locatelli in position 3. The Dale Academy Racing Car Team driver on the podium here on the top step in the Rock Cup World Final in 2022. Also on the podium in the junior category in the past few seasons. He's about to stand on it if he can withhold the challenge, withstand the pressure from the German Maximilian. He'll be so disappointed if he can't step up onto the podium. He's still got hope. As now we start the last lap of the race, Catanini on his way to victory is Denny. Disappointed not to win the pre-final this morning. Mathis Barb took that, but the Frenchman's afternoon has been ruined by a self-inflicted penalty, sorry to say. Not in a judgmental way, but a 5-second penalty. A great drive from Mathis, the Southern Frenchman, but it will be P12 at best. On his way to victory now is Denny Catanini. The gap 2.5 seconds. Bravissimo Andrea Giudice. The fight for P3, Locatelli and the German Maximilian Schleimer. They won the WSK Open Cup in 2022 with Thomas Stolchamanis. Round 1 of the WSK Open Series goes to the Italian for Team Energy Course. Denny Caranini wins here at Lonato. Bravissimo Andrea Giudice. Mark Granada is showing on our timing screens in position 3. Surely that can't be right. Regardless, Catanini has taken the victory from Andrea Giudice, round 1 of the WSK Open Series. Catanini wins round 1 of the WSK Open Series. And this is how he did it. Was pushed down into turn 1 by the German Maximilian Schleimer, who tried the outside on the pole sitter. Matthias Barb jumping the start, and a 5-second penalty put pay to the Frenchman's race. Maximilian Schleimer up into second place, fighting with Matthias Barb. The other driver's not even knowing he was penalised. Andrea Giudice, good drive for the Marta Sessantuno pilot. Firstly going by the German, and then the penalised Frenchman to ultimately finish in second place. Meanwhile, as they fought, Catanini was pulling away from the pack. It was less than a second, but as they fought for second place, Catanini simply disappeared down the road. The 2022 WSK Champions Cup champion ultimately going by to win by 2.5 seconds. Giudice up the inside of the German to take position 2. Fabulous performance from Andrea. Catanini takes the victory in round 1 of the WSK Open Series. Denny Catanini takes his second WSK victory after winning the WSK Champions Cup. Catanini to stand on the top step of the podium. Andrea Giudice for Marta Sessantuno in second place. Stay with us, the podium presentation for the X30 final in just a moment.